guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers again. This is episode 3 or 4, I don't remember. Anyway, so as you guys know, this thing runs great. I'm really happy with it. Just did a touch-up paint job on it. Looks way better than before. Got rid of the rust spots, you know, best I could, you know. Kind of thinking about just pulling off this rubber thing off the whole thing, covering up this black part here, and just go and buy some red spray paint and doing it all. But then I'm like, forget it, you know, it looks fine, you know. But as you know, I duct tape the seat, you know. I mean, it holds it together pretty well, you know what I'm saying? But it just looks like hell, you know what I mean? A guy, one of my followers, he lives about half an hour from me. His name is Nick, 5-Speed Ash. I haven't met him yet, but we've been talking, texting and stuff. He's got a lot of parts. I've got some parts. We should trade some parts. I asked him if he had a seat. He actually has a Craftsman seat. The problem is the Craftsman seat, the tightening bolt is in the middle. This is 2 rows of bolts. So I don't want to do a lot of drilling. I don't want to make it a pain in the butt. And he's got 2 cracks here anyway, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking, so I used to work for the airlines. I used to travel a lot. Been around the world several hundred times. So we had these Travel Pro suitcases, you know, for the crew. And so this is just the plastic part that you put inside your suitcase so that you don't wrinkle things up. You know, you can put t-shirts on the bottom and a suit on the top. You put that there so it won't wrinkle. I never used it because I couldn't give a crap about being wrinkled or not. So this thing, if I bent it right, can go around like this. It'll make it waterproof, you know what I mean? But it's the corners that I'm worried about. So I want to try to like heat this part up and do the bend better, right? And then I'll just like put black silicone all around here, plop it on there, you know? Probably do the same thing, shaping on the back for this, you know? So that's what I'm going to try to do here. I've got sort of a bend, so I know where to bend it permanently, you know? But its corner here is what I'm worried about. I'm thinking about just cutting like that, so I wouldn't have this problem here. But I want to heat it up and see if I can just like, you know, like that in the corner. That's what I'm going to try to do today, just to make the seat look a little better, you know? Another problem I have, I noticed, is that this caster wheel, the left caster wheel, doesn't hold its air, you know. The other one does, but this one goes down pretty fast. There's a tube in there, and I think it's stock like that. There's a tube. So I think there's just a hole in the tube. So I'm going to jack this up later, take the wheel off, take the inner tube out, find the hole, plug the hole with a patch kit, stick it back in there, and fix that. But right now, I want to kind of heat up this thingamajig. As you recall, I did this with my headlights. I made headlight lenses like this. It works pretty good. Just gotta be patient, you know. You can't hold it there too long because it'll burn. You just want to slightly heat it up, you know. That blue flame's very hot. So it bends it into shape, and then it cools. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm going to mess with it. See? It's kind of, the curve is staying. So I have another one, and I bent the sides and I cut it into shape for the back. So that looks pretty good. You know what I mean? That looks pretty good. I mean, it's not as soft as I'd like it, you know, on your tushy, but you know, with time and the heat and stuff, it'll kind of mold your ass in here, sorta. But look, man, this is better than this, and before I put this on, better than that, right? So I'm just gonna put it on, man. I'm gonna put the back on first, so I'm gonna lace all this with silicone, and just plop it on there, man. Don't know if everybody's messed with silicone before, but this GE black silicone is very strong. So just get a caulk tool, whatever, and just do a bead around it, about an inch away from the edge, because when you push it down, you don't want it to make a mess, which is probably going to happen anyway. And you do like that. It's kind of expensive, ranges between $5 and $7 for a tube of this stuff, depending on what part of the country you are. I'm in New York, so this thing is like $8. Everything in New York, along the coast, you know, New York, Florida, well, not so much Florida, I don't know why, and not so much Texas either, but California, Washington, New York, stuff is so expensive in those coastal regions. And don't even talk about Alaska and Hawaii, because forget about it. It's too expensive. I've already done the backing. I'm going to put the back first, because I want the bottom pushed up against the back. I'm just going to smear it on here, man. It'll hold. What I'll do is I'll take a bungee cord, I'll wrap around it. That'll hold there for a while. Just want to make it tight. I'll be honest with you, this is the first time I'm doing this. Never done this before. I mean, if you want to count the light lens I made, but it's kind of cool. Yeah, so the back needs to, yeah. So you know what? I've got a heavy jug of gas. Put the gas thing here. And then I'll take a bungee and wrap it. So I've got two almost full gas tanks there, just gas cans, just weighing it down so that it would dry with the most type of spreading. In the back here I've got these bungee cords there, pulled tight against a towel that I put in between it so that it gives it some more push. I also duct tape this top part a little. It's okay, man, as long as it looks better, you know. And also what it does is this is obviously waterproof, so you know what I'm saying, you could just brush it off if you want, you know. It's not perfect, not by a long shot. I think at the end of the day I'm still gonna have to take some black duct tape and pull it down, you know what I mean, but at least it doesn't look terrible, you know, and it almost looks molded, you know what I'm saying. First time I ever made a seat. Pretty cool. So while I do that, while that's drying, I mean, I'm going to jack this up. Probably going to need a vice grip pliers and a screwdriver, flathead. Yep. Check out all that crapola. Well, you know it's greased really well. That cap is what it's for. It's supposed to hold the grease in there. Prevent dirt from getting in there. It's an E-clip in there, so just take a flathead screwdriver and pry it. Just don't lose it, like I almost did. Actually, sorry, this is a C-clip. It doesn't have that notch in the middle. C-clip. Couple of washers in here, greasy. And this thing should just come right off as it does. Hello. Hello. There we go. Okay. Break the bead. Usually just step on it or something. You know what? I should let the air out. See, there's still air in it. But because this machine is like 700, 800 pounds, it needs to be really strong, so. Gotta be careful when you try to break the bead on this and not bust the inner tube, you know? That's probably why it's busted now. This looks like it's going to be difficult to do. I'm going to mess with this, try to break the bead and find the inner tube. I'm having a difficult time breaking the bead. There's still a lot of air in here, you know what I mean? So I've got this thing here to take the valve out. A needle that holds the air in there. I'm just going to take it out and hope some of that air comes out. There we go. No air's coming out, so. See, when you push it down, air comes out, but then when you let go, air just goes back in again. But it is a little bit softer. I might have to get a clamp this down. Pushing it in. Got a big clamp. If anybody ever tells you that it's fun to do this, this is not fun. I wish it would just pop off, you know what I mean? But I want to do it with as little effort as possible. You know, I mean, yes, I'm doing a lot of steps to get it off, but I'm not killing myself with it. Some people say you could just run over it with your car. Like put a 2x4 here and then run over the 2x4 and it'll push it down. But look, it just won't break. God. Looks like it's about to go. I know, right? So much effort. It be a coming. Boom! That sucked. Now putting the bead back on is easy because there's an inner tube in it. You know what I mean? Just blow up the air and it'll push out the sidewalls on its own. Just had to break that bead. And God knows how long this rubber has been on there. So that's why it was so difficult to get off. But it's off the bead now. And we're going to see the condition of the inner tube. Man, because this tire is so stiff, you know what I mean? It's difficult to even get the inner tube out. I'll have to mess with it. Bros, that sucked. I'm sweating like a bastard. It's very humid today in New York. You just sit out here for a second, sweat to death. So the reason why this was so difficult to get out was because somebody sprayed some kind of adhesive on here and it was stuck on the inner part of the tire. So what I'm gonna do now is, I'm gonna see the condition of this tire. I'm gonna put the valve back in and pump it up and get a spray bottle of water and find where the hole is, because it looks like a decent tire. But I bet you I have a decent leak in here too. It's 5 inches. 5-inch tire. So I'm going to get my air compressor started up. Got a spray bottle, air compressor. Can't hear any leaks with that thing going on. I don't hear any obvious. I don't hear any obvious leaks. Maybe it's the valve itself. You know, the best way to do this, I should just get a bucket of water and dunk it in the bucket of water. Because this being rubber, you know, the water doesn't stay to it, so it just drips right down. That's what I'll have to do because I can't tell from this. I'm going to go get a bucket of water. So I got a bucket of water. It's summertime now, so my pipes are open. Pipes are turned on. Huh. I don't see any bubbles coming out. Don't tell me I took that damn thing off for nothing. I don't see any bubbles, which means there is no leak. I mean, that's just odd, you know, to make me go through all that trouble to take this damn thing off, right? And there's no leak? Has to be a leak. Has to be a leak big enough that it will deplete my air overnight. And yet, I see no leak. Unless maybe the valve was loose and it was leaking out of there, and then since I just put it on, I tightened it. It's possible. Not probable though. I'll turn you back on when I find it. So I've been sitting here with this like that, and there's no leaks in this tire. I don't understand why when I pump it up, the next day it's soft again. I just don't get it. Unless my theory was right that I indeed did tighten the valve into the stem when I took it out. So now it's tight. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of, you know. Let me just test that theory for a second. Let me loosen the valve just a smidgen and see if any air comes out. Alright, I could hear it already. Let's say it wasn't in tight, okay? So if it wasn't tight, air would have came out. Could that have been it? That's probably it, because there's no leaks in this tire. So I took off the wheel. I broke the bead, sweated my balls off, take out this tire, fill the bucket with water, do this like an idiot, just sitting here doing this for nothing. Well, is it for nothing? I showed you how to remove a caster wheel off a Toro 616Z zero-turn lawnmower and to take the inner tube out of it. That's what I did. I showed you how to remove an inner tube out of a tire and break a bead. Alright, well look, I'm just going to take this valve back out again. Let the air out so I can stuff this back into the tire again. And put that damn thing back again. And watch. You watch what's going to happen. I'm going to put that back on. Okay? I'm going to put it back on. And it's going to be flat tomorrow. You watch. Huh. That's water from when I opened it up. I'll put all this crap. So today we made a seat cover, plastic seat cover, for my completely trashed seat on my Toro 616Z zero-turn mower that I essentially got for free. Ideally, I'd like to paint the whole thing, but being that it has so many decals still on there, I don't want to mess it up, you know. So while I thought that I had a leak in this caster wheel, in reality I'm suspecting that the valve was just loose and the air just leaked out whenever I put air in there. So the inner tube, we tested it. It doesn't leak. Valve is nice and tight on there, so I just basically took the inner tube out of that thing for nothing. But at least now we know, you know. Anyway, so we fixed that wheel, and hopefully that's going to look pretty good when it's done. But, you know, just buttoning up the small touches on this thing. And honestly, you know, I'm not supposed to keep all this stuff, and I shouldn't keep it, but I really like it. And honestly, it really mowed my lawn very well the other day, you know. It's my first zero turn. Maybe I'll hold on to it for a while until I decide what I'm going to do with it. I'm not going to list it just yet, you know, I'm just going to hold on to it. Engine runs really well. Transmission is fine. Problem is, if the engine breaks or the transmission goes bad, this is just scrap then, you know, because there's no way you can get another engine. Well, I mean, I have another engine, but there's no way you can get another transmission for that, you know. At least not cheaply. Anyway, that's it for today. Seat and tire, just buttoning up the loose ends. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. I'm going to use my Small Engine Nation keychain for my key for this. From Mick's Mowers, Let's Get Down and Dirty in the UK. Shout out to Mick. Mick's Mowers on YouTube. Small Engine Nation hashtag. Hey guys, support my channel. Buy a sticker. Also follow me on Instagram at Mowers Blowers. Check out my website, mowersblowers.com.